Chapter 11. Life Transitions and Vulnerable Periods. This pathway is about timing, not character. Many people who cheat during these periods would never have imagined themselves capable of it at any other time in their lives. Because during major life transitions, a person's identity, emotions, and stability are temporarily shaken. They are not operating from their usual grounded self. They are psychologically unsettled, and that makes them far more vulnerable to outside emotional connections. What counts as a vulnerable life transition? Common ones were infidelity spikes, becoming new parents, kids leaving home, empty nest, career change, promotion or job loss, moving cities or countries, illness or caring for a sick family member, grief and loss, turning 40/50/60, midlife reflection, retirement. All of these have one thing in common. They disrupt identity and emotional stability. What this feels like internally. During these times, people often feel disoriented, less confident, less attractive, less certain of who they are, emotionally overwhelmed, nostalgic for who they used to be, questioning their life and choices. They may start thinking, is this all there is? I don't feel like myself anymore. My life feels like responsibilities, not me. I feel old/tired/invisible. They don't say this out loud because it feels selfish or irrational, but the emotional vulnerability is very real. Why does this make someone susceptible to an affair? Because when someone new enters during this unstable period and makes them feel seen, interesting, alive, attractive, understood, it feels like an anchor in the middle of psychological chaos. They attach to the feeling very quickly because they are emotionally unsteady. The dangerous misinterpretation, they don't think, I'm vulnerable right now. They think, this person came into my life at the perfect time. But the perfect time is actually a period of emotional instability. Hannah and Paul married 15 years. Their kids have just left for university. For 18 years, Hannah's identity was deeply tied to being a mother. Now the house is quiet. She feels lost, unneeded, older, unsure what her purpose is, disconnected from herself. Paul is adjusting fine. He's still working, still busy. Hannah feels alone with her thoughts all day. She doesn't want to burden Paul with how strange and empty she feels. So she says very little. She joins a local class to fill time. There she meets someone who talks to her with curiosity. He asks about her interests, her past, her opinions. He treats her like a person, not a mother. She feels something she hasn't felt in years. Interesting, alive, visible. What's happening psychologically? He is stabilizing her shaken sense of identity. She starts looking forward to the class, the conversations, not because she wants him, because she doesn't want to go back to the quiet house and the heavy feeling inside. The shift. They start talking more. She shares how strange this phase of life feels. He listens deeply. Emotional intimacy forms very quickly because she is in a vulnerable state. Why does this turn into an affair? Because she begins associating. Him equals feeling like herself again. Home equals feeling lost and aging. And in her mind, this connection feels deeply meaningful and timely. The tragic irony. If Hannah had understood, I'm going through an identity transition, not a relationship problem, she could have leaned into Paul for support instead of away from him. But she misread internal instability as external connection, the core psychological truth. During life transitions, people are emotionally softer, less grounded, and searching for stability. And the first person who makes them feel seen and alive during that time can feel profoundly important, far more than they actually are. Why is this preventable? Couples who navigate these periods safely talk openly about, I feel strange lately. I feel like I'm losing myself a bit. This life change is affecting me more than I expected. They recognize the vulnerability as temporary and face it together instead of one person quietly seeking relief elsewhere.